Hello, welcome to English Reading by Hidemi Woods. I'll read episodes from my books and talk about them. I hope you enjoy the show with me. Hi, this is your host, Hidemi Woods. I'm reading an episode from my book, An Old Tree in Kyoto. Today's episode is titled Labels. It's about vein that I was caught in. Labels. People like to label everything, and the school name is very important for them. They evaluate a person not by what they do, but by the school they go to. So, to get in a renowned school, students are prepared for years ahead for their future. I wasn't an exception among those who were caught up in this stupid trend a long time ago. My mother was feverish to get me in the best junior high school in the city where I grew up. She didn't want me to be a highly paid worker at a big company in the future since the society was male-dominated. She wanted me to be in the best school out of vanity, and in order to boost the possibility for me to meet a future candidate of a highly paid worker and marry him. I even took the entrance examination for an eminent supplementary private school to attend after classes of the elementary school, to be prepared for an entrance examination of a junior high school. That was the episode of today. It's mostly about my childhood. From the 5th grade to the 6th grade, I went to the supplementary private school after elementary school because my mother made me. My mother wanted me to get in the best school, the best junior high school in the city. And for that, she thought, like everyone else, I needed to go to the supplementary school after the classes of the elementary school. Basically, Japanese people regard belonging to a certain group rather than individual. So where they belong is very important for Japanese people, and they think light of being individual they regard less individual identity, and they really think it's important to be a member of a group, and acting as a member of a group is a key to success in Japan. So they need to forget to be individual, but they need to think they are a member of a big team. They need to be a team player for success. And it's not just inside an office or a company, but it can be applied to general social life in Japan. Being a team player is the utmost important thing living in Japan. So the most apparent example is we Japanese call ourselves by the last name. It shows where we belong, which family we come from. So we, except for a very intimate relationship, we basically call each other by our last name. So the family name is more important than an individual name. And that applies to everything else in Japan. Where they belong, what team they come from, what company, what school, what institution, anything they belong to tells who she or he is. So we know that rule in Japan. Belonging to the highly renowned organization is really, really important. And it begins, in my case, it began even when I entered the kindergarten. My mother wanted me to go in to go to the best kindergarten in the neighborhood. And I was one of few who went to the far-off kindergarten, not with other kids in my neighborhood. Other kids in my neighborhoods went to the different nearby kindergarten. But I wasn't allowed to go there because of my mother's vein. So, who they are is decided where they belong. And even now, when Japanese people introduce themselves to the public or to other people, they almost certainly include the organization they belong to after their name. Like, I'm Kobayashi from something company, or I'm Sato from something university, like that. So they really need to in a Japanese society, they need to be included in a certain organization. That proves that person can work as a team player, cooperate with someone, and not ripple or not compete or fight. They just quietly concentrate on their work. That's the most important thing in a Japanese society, I think. And in my opinion, that's why Japan has become weaker and weaker in the global competition, because Japan hasn't appreciated the individual value, but the group's value. So, in a way, Japan denies an individual value. It just appreciates the organization's value. And as a Japanese, I was caught in that trend, that that society, that the way of the society goes. And especially when I was a child, it was really difficult to defy it. So I just had to had to comply with those rules because I was told the society worked that way. And if I did something different, I would fail. Complying to the social rules was very important. And I was young enough to believe it. I didn't realize it was wrong. And especially because I was raised by my mother, who was so vain. Her most important thing was vanity. How she looked from others. So she married my father for money and the name of the family. She wanted the name and money. She married for vanity, so to speak. So her marriage was like that. So was her child. It's me. She made me to a renowned school, not for my future, but the name of the school made me look good, made her look good. She wanted to tell everybody she knew that I was going to that renowned school. She boasted it to everyone. And that was the main purpose for her to make her child to go to that school. And I was foolish enough to comply my mother's wrong purpose. And when she told me this was for your future, I believed it. And so it was such a pain to go to that supplementary private school after elementary school, because it was far from my home and it took me 90 minutes round trip from the elementary school to the supplementary school. So when I came home, it was past 7 o'clock in the evening. And I was just 5th grade and 6th grade. For a child, it was a burden to go to school after school. But I thought I had to go, as my mother told me to, because without going there, I thought I couldn't get in that renowned junior high school. So even though those were such painful days, I continued to go to 2 schools in a day. And I got in that renowned junior high school and high school and university. And so what? I became a musician after all. I didn't work at an office or in a company. I never worked in those organizations. I ended up being a musician, and I didn't marry a high-paid worker. So those days were just a waste of time. I wasted so much time those 2 years. It didn't help my life better. It didn't any good. Just bad experiences and memories and just pain. I never thought I would be a musician back in those days, but if I knew, I wouldn't go to that supplementary school. It's so stupid. So, in the end, as a musician, it was just, I wasted so much time by wrong pushed so-called duty to comply with Japanese social system. And in the end, I became a musician that is a musician that stable income isn't assured. So that whole my elementary school life was a waste of time. I just want to go back in time, and I wish I could go back in time and meet myself who was still in elementary school and tell her not to go to that supplementary school, not to do as your mother told you to do, not to listen to her. Don't go to the supplementary school. Don't let the Japanese society trick you into doing those stupid things. Be smarter, I guess. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. I'm Hidemi Woods. I hope you join me again. Until next time, take care and be well.
Audiobook, The Family in Kyoto, One Japanese Girl Got Freedom by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple Books, Google Play, Audible, 43 available distributors in total.